Hood rich, suburbs poor. Okay. Urban Therapy with Sun 752, and this your daily. The daily go get 'em is number 1K62. Sorry, 1K63 for August 27, 2017. All right, so being hood rich versus being suburbs poor. You know, for those of y'all who don't know, when you talk about being hood rich is like when you have when you make a decent salary, basically. You know, you work at a job, you may have worked hard, moved up the corporate ladder a little bit, but you're not a big time major player in corporate America. You just you're just a person who has a decent job, making a decent salary. In many hoods across the United States, $50,000 would make you hood rich, because there's so much poverty in the hood. There's so many people living below the poverty line. There's so many people struggling, living from check to check, just trying to make it. So $50,000 will get you the types of things that are available in the hood that will be easily accessible to you. You know, things like clothes and sneakers and food and things like that. The thing is, in the hood, we have accommodations that you may not find out in the suburbs. Things like corner stores, non-nutritious foods that may be good, things that will hold you down for the time being. You know, a lot of high fructose corn syrup, a lot of fat, a lot of carbohydrates, Chinese stores, you know, things like that. Things that aren't going to run you a lot of money, but they will put some food in your belly. Little fly things, like I said, the clothes, the sneakers. You can afford at $50,000 a year. You can afford Jordans for your children and things like that. I mean, not that it's a good thing, but where somebody else may struggle and on a anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000 check, a pair of $200 sneakers is really going to put a dent in your income. At $50,000, it's not going to be that bad, unless you try to do it every day, in which it's going to be almost impossible. But you know, once every month, once every couple of months or whatever, you're going to be able to do your little shopping. You're going to be able to get your little fly gear. You're going to be able to go out to dinner on a regular basis. You're going to be able to afford to go to the club, ball out a little bit. You'll be playing very small ball, but nonetheless you'll be balling. You know, because we're talking about an annual salary. We're not talking about having $50,000 cash at your disposal to be able to just rock out. So, also the cost of living in the hood is probably going to be a little cheaper as far as the property taxes are concerned, and the cost of living as far as having a domicile, a house, apartment. You're probably not going to be living in a high rent district. So, you know, $6, $7, even $1,000 a month, you're probably going to be able to afford that. Not so comfortably, but enough to be able to get by. Whereas, because $1,000 a month is $12,000 a year, you still have, you know, a decent amount of cash even after taxes to be able to play around with. You're going to have to be careful, but you'll still be okay. Whereas somebody who's making $20,000, they can't make $1,000 a month rent. It's just no way. You're not going to be able to live on that. No matter how cheap things are, you're still not going to have a lot of money to do anything. So recreation is out of the window. No, it's not going to happen for you. So, you know, when you compare $50,000 or even $50,000 on up to the low six figures of like $100,000, it's a decent salary, especially if you live in the hood. I mean, now you doing okay. Nobody can deny that you are somewhat successful. So we're talking about salaries of people like engineers, even some policemen can make almost that much, doing overtime and things like that. Nurses, can't forget about nurses. People who own little small businesses, you know, daycare, barbershops, hair salons, stuff like that. Flower shop, whatever, little corner store, things like that. You're not killing it, but you may be making more than $50,000, somewhere between $50,000 to the low six figures, $100,000. So when you try to compare how well you may be able to make it in the hood with your little $50,000, and don't let me discount people who make $50,000 a year, because there's nothing to sneeze at. It's not. It's a decent salary. It is. That's like, $50,000. A teacher, a school teacher who has a master's degree is probably going to make $50,000 a year. Now, if you only have a bachelor's degree, your salary is going to be considerably lower. So anyway, so when you take that $50,000 out to the suburbs where the property taxes are very high, deed restrictions and zoning rights restrictions and things like that, it starts to be more expensive. If you live in an apartment complex, where not an apartment complex, I'm sorry, a condominium complex, or a housing complex where you own your home. However, because of the deed restrictions, you're not able to do certain things, like add on another room. The county will actually come around your house and issue fines because you're trying to add on and make things more comfortable and beautiful for your home. You have to ask for permission. Plus the houses out there in the burbs, depending on what burbs you're talking about, because they're not all cut from the same cloth. Depending on the burbs that you're talking about, the houses are going to be $200,000 and up, maybe more. And sometimes the houses are $200,000 and up in the hood too. But all hoods aren't cut from the same cloth either. Now, I'm saying all of this to say this. If you want to be a small fish in a big pond, that's up to you. And more than likely, you'll move out to the burbs. And if you want to be a big fish in a small pond, then you'll probably stay in the hood and make your $50,000 to $100,000 a year and rock out. But you know how our people are. I mean, our people. This skin tone. A lot of times, it's not even about what we have in our pockets or in the bank. It's about what it looks like. So we'll go out there and run out there to the burbs and struggle from check to check when we could have been living like kings and queens in the hood. But it's up to you. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. And remember, this one last thing. Many of the schools and the level of the schools are better out in the burbs. Some burbs, like I said, they're not all cut from the same cloth, and the level of crime is normally reduced. Is normally a lot lower than in the city. But of course, they have less people out there in the burbs. So if they did have higher crime, it would definitely be highlighted, especially if it was violent crime. And we have to remember that crime is more than just violent crime. Sometimes we forget that. The Daily Go Get a Business Show is every single day, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Call in number 319-527-6199. blogtalkradio.com/Sun752. Peace. One out. My fault. Yeah.